Welcome back everybody to a very special video. Today we're doing a monthly reading wrap up. Everything I had a chance to read in the month of June. Pretend like I did this video like a week ago, but I got a lot of great things here. We got a deluxe edition, an omnibus, couple trades, and of course DC compacts. You guys know I'm all about the DC compacts, but let's start off with the omnibus for the month. We had Animal Man by Jeff Lemire. Loved it, man. This is that new 52 era of DC Comics, and it features Animal Man with, of course, his family, the Bakers, and they're kind of just going on this adventure. It turns out that Animal Man's daughter has a deep connection to the Red as well. I love all the different changes to the Red mythology that Jeff Lemire is bringing us here. I found the entire read to be very compelling. You're just wanting to see what's going on with his family, how they're going to get out of it, and Buddy Baker, all the time, he seems like he's in over his head. I love all the different body horror elements. As you guys are seeing as I'm flipping through, let's get some other good examples here. Just stuff like this, right? Like big, bulbous, everything's kind of shiny and kind of gooey looking. I loved all the different artwork throughout this Animal Man omnibus. A lot of it is the great stuff from Travel Foreman. He comes back near the end as well. All the different displays of Animal Man's powers as we see his body kind of shift and morph based on whatever Animal Man needs, all the powers that he needs to kind of pull from in the animal kingdom. The first half of it, I'd say, is this buildup between this war between the Red and the Rot. The Red has to kind of team up with the Green, so you get a lot of great Swamp Thing appearances in this as well. And the entire story is just really great stuff. It's very unique in terms of how it's, unlike anything I've read out of DC Comics. It kind of takes place in its own universe almost. Like it has almost no ties to what's going on in the greater DC universe. We have this kind of almost Days of Future Past sort of arc at the end of the battle between the Rot and the Red. We get some great appearances from some of the magic users in the DC universe, like Constantine. He makes some great appearances in this as well. Swamp Thing, as I mentioned earlier. And yeah, the entire thing is just great stuff. I'd recommend it if you are trying to read some more off-the-wall DC Comics. I think this would definitely fit the bill. Let's talk about Saga next. So Saga is just one of those stories. What else can I say about Saga that hasn't already been said? As you see this baby of these two warring races, they're supposed to be at war, but this couple has found love, and it's an entire great start to this journey. I've read through Saga up to issues, whatever, like 50 before they went on their long hiatus. One time, it was way back in the day, and it was through that compendium I read it. I feel like I didn't really kind of comprehend and understand kind of what was going on. This was before I really got heavy into comic books, and I've tried rereading the series multiple times on my phone though, and it's not really been working well. This is the first time that I've kind of broken out of where I was stuck, and I'm into some stuff that I've only read that first time. It's excellent stuff, man. Seeing this story in the oversized Fiona Staples artwork, I think that's been helping a lot more in this deluxe edition. Great family fun, the entire journey. It kind of just goes, and there's a great pacing all throughout from Brian K. Vaughan in terms of every issue kind of ends in a cliffhanger. You immediately want to turn the page and find out what's going on, and it's just great stuff. Great character work. You meet a lot of oddball kind of characters all throughout the story. All these people are hunting down the mother, the daughter, and the father, as they're not supposed to be having a baby, as they're supposed to be these warring races. You get some bounty hunters as well, right? They're also going after this couple and the daughter. The entire thing is just excellent stuff, and I cannot wait to continue my reread of Saga with Deluxe Edition book number 2. Easy to see why this is on some people's Image Comic Mount Rushmores. It might be on mine as well. Just a really great story, great sci-fi with some hint of fantasy elements. It's really great stuff. Let's talk about Grommets, okay? So this is a trade paperback read of the month. This is from writer Rick Remender. He's co-writing it with Brian Posehn. We got Brett Parson on the artwork. And the first thing I'll say about this story is the artwork took me a little bit to kind of warm up to it. It's kind of a red herring in that it looks super cartoony, but it's kind of like an adult story in a lot of ways, very violent. It's kind of harkening back to those like 80s, early 90s skateboarding sort of vibes. And I think that they capture that tone and a lot of the themes that come with it very well. Themes of being the outsider, being an outcast, themes of bullying as well, trying to fit in, that sort of thing. And at its core, it's just really great story about friendship. So I would say once you get past those like 2 issues, settling into the art style and kind of the world that we're living in, I think that this story really starts going. And I think that people should be checking out Grommets. It's just an excellent story. I'm not a skateboarder myself, always wanted to be, man. I really kind of appreciated that sort of culture that comes along with it. And yeah, I would say recommending Grommets is an easy thing to do when Rick Remender is the writer behind it. Some really great stuff from Rick Remender typically, and I would put this story up there with some of the best of them. Finally, let's talk about some of the DC compact comics. The last one I had a chance to read was Batman Under the Red Hood. Instantly reminded me as I reread it in this compact format why I fell in love with it in the first place. Obviously, we know who's under the Red Hood. We know it's Jason Todd. We know he's back. But I still think that this story was so compelling, and my good buddy Carl's Comics, he used the word engaging. I think that's a great way to put it. You just really want to see what's going on, kind of Batman kind of undercover, getting into this mystery. How could this be Jason Todd? He's not supposed to be there. And really kind of being driven mad by the fact that he wasn't able to save Jason Todd. And that story about Jason Todd at its core, I find very compelling. What you do with the character later on, I'm not too sure, right? I'm not so well read on the latest Red Hood Jason Todd stuff, but I think that this is just such a great reintroduction of Jason Todd back into the DC universe. Very, very compelling read. I love all the artwork from Doug Mahnke. Judd Winnick, I gotta explore more of his stuff. But yeah, this was a great reread and easily one of the most recommendable compact comics that they've released so far. I honestly recommend this one over Batman Hush personally, right? So Batman Hush, it's a great like first time reading a Batman story kind of read. But if you want something that has a little bit more meat to it, I guess I would say, like a little bit more emotional and character driven, definitely check out Batman Under the Red Hood. Let's talk about Catwoman, Trail of the Catwoman. Some great Darwin Cook stuff in this, but it's written, a lot of it by Ed Brubaker, my favorite comic book writer of all time. It's got that, great initial story, Selina's big score, as she's putting together this crew to rob the mafia's train, essentially, like while the train is on the high-speed track. It's awesome kind of seeing Selina put together the crew and execute the heist. Then we get into some great Slam Bradley stuff. Ed Brubaker kind of brings us back to the streets of Gotham. In a lot of ways, this serves as a prequel to Gotham Central, which I found very awesome as I reread in this compact comic. You get some great Darwin Cook stuff all throughout, even with the Ed Brubaker writing. Once you get past that heist comic, the heist story at the initial onset, you get into this really great arc where Selina is kind of going back to the East End. She's reclaiming it as her own kind of territory. And she's like, yo, I'm planting a flag. I'm keeping everybody here safe. And so it's just really great stuff. If you like this, you can definitely check out the omnibus. It includes the complete run from all these different great creators. Just great mysteries all throughout. Some great street level corner of the DC universe that I really love exploring. And Selina Kyle is such a badass female protagonist. It's easy to see why even nowadays, right, like decades and decades later, she's just such a compelling hero. I just really love Selina Kyle and kind of the grayness that she kind of plays in on this side of the law, but still fighting for, the kind of downtrodden or the people on the streets that really need it. So great stuff with Trail of the Catwoman, Ed Brubaker, Darwin Cook, the legends, absolutely the legends. And then finally, I've talked about this on the channel a little bit, but Static Season 1. I guess I would say about this one, a little bit disappointing in terms of the story itself. It's kind of simple, right? And I feel like when it came out, the kind of context of this story was that it was kind of like a YA, like a younger audience kind of slant to all the Season 1 of the Milestone returns. But I gotta say, the artwork was excellent all throughout. Really cool look for Static, really cool kind of reemergence of the Milestone universe and kind of bringing it forward into the modern day. I thought that it really did a great job in that respect. Just kind of a simple story on its surface. It's Virgil Hawkins in high school trying to figure out his powers. The bad guys have kidnapped a bunch of the powerful kids, right? And Virgil's trying to stop them. So very simple on its surface, but I think what it excels at is the kind of character moments, the family stuff, right? As the family is kind of helping Virgil become the hero Static. And that's a very different, sense of origin story versus the original Milestone stuff, the original Static stuff, where he didn't tell his family that he was Static. He kind of kept that hidden. So in this respect, it was kind of different in that way, where he's working with them to kind of develop the Static mythology. And I found that to be some great emotionally driven comic books, right? So there we go, man. My entire stack of what I had a chance to read in the month of June. Pretend like I did this video a week ago, like I said. But let me know down in the comments what you guys were reading in June. Did you read more than me? I'd be curious to know. And while you're down there, why don't you like, why don't you hype? I really appreciate it. Catch you guys later in the next comic book video. Thank you guys for watching. Read more comics.